You're listening to The Objective Jerk, and I am said jerk. What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's doing better than the Wisconsin brewery TDS guy. I have to look up his name. That's what I'm going to talk about. This guy, he is the prime example of TDS. And it's just insane. Anyway, before I get to that, I'd just like to say that this video is sponsored by nobody. Alright. Dude, who listens to, like, I got a little, so I grew up listening to rock music, hair metal, right, as a kid. And, so Def Leppard, Motley Crue were like the first thing when I started kind of listening to music. Queen, but I was a teenager during the grunge era, and all that stuff. So generally, I like rock music, metal. I do like some hip hop, but mainly the stuff that I kind of was exposed to growing up. Like I never owned an album, but I had friends that did, and I would listen to it with them, and I liked it, So now I'll play stuff, like I played some old Ice Cube or whatever for my kids, and I like it, but it doesn't do the same thing for me as, four guys playing instruments and stuff. Like that's the mecca, right? Beastie Boys, but they play a lot of their stuff too, though. But anyway. Oh, I guess, yeah, so they're hip-hop, and I own and love Beastie Boys, but they're, it's kind of, people would argue, obviously they're, you wouldn't have hip-hop without the Beastie Boys, but, they're on that fine line of starting off as a punk band and whatever. But anyway, so there's a band called Filter, right? They've been around since the 90s. They got that song, Hey Man, Nice Shot. It's pretty well known. People thought it was about Kirk Cobain, but it was about this politician that killed himself on TV. But they've put out, a bunch of albums. So the first 3 albums I owned and I listened to a lot, but I kind of, wasn't listening to them anymore. So I've been trying to listen to the newer stuff. But there's also a band that the singer from Filter was in with some guys from Stone Temple Pilots, and I think it's the current drummer for Korn, called Army of Anyone. And that album, they only did one album. It was released in like 2003, 4, somewhere around there. But it is so good. It is good. So I've been jamming to that lately. But I had that going yesterday. I had it playing while I was kind of doing some chores and cleaning up and stuff. My kids were sleeping. They woke up. And my middle son, who I butt heads with a lot, he's the middle child. He's a little pain in the ass. He doesn't want criticism. He doesn't want your help. He wants to figure everything out for himself and doesn't like anything that I like. You know what I mean? And I've accepted it. But so he wakes up, so, a song is playing from Army of Anyone, which has the singer from Filter, and he's like, is this Filter? And I was just like, I was in shock and in awe. I was like, yes. No, actually, it's the singer from Filter, but I was so, I was in shock and then awe, and then I was so proud, that he knew who Filter was, and I was just like, I wanted to hug him, and I was like, man, and he's like, get off me, So that was kind of cool. It's, because music was a big deal for me back in the day when I was a kid. Today, not so much. Of course, I keep rocking that noise. I'm trying not to rock. I gotta sit still. Well, it's kind of the problem having a rocking chair. I can hear it go, Yeah, this chair is noisy. I know, I need to get a different chair, right? Anyway, this one's comfy, though. What was I saying? Yeah, so music, it was my identity as a kid, you dressed and your friends, you had the same taste, and oh, check out this band, this kind of thing. Like, it was a big part of my life growing up. Now, not so much. I mean, I still listen to music. I still love music. I play instruments, not well, but I just put on some guitar strings on a ukulele that we had, because ukuleles typically have nylon strings, but they broke. So I grabbed the four heaviest strings on a guitar set, and I put them on there, strung it up and tuned it, and I've been playing around with that. But generally I play drums, I fool around with the bass, and then now I got this ukulele I'm messing with. My youngest kid is trying to learn guitar. He's playing around with it, a little acoustic, so that'd be kind of cool. But anyway, so yeah, so most music is kind of liberal, and like, I loved Rage Against the Machine growing up, and now that they're Rage for the Machine, not so much. But like, if they came out with a new album, I don't know, man. Like, that's a tough one. Like, I really try and distance myself from people who, entertainers or whatever, that TDS, and just most ridiculous takes. There are people I know who are liberal and probably don't like Trump, but they don't say or do much about it, so it's easy to just kind of enjoy what their product is. But some people, you can't. And Rage Against the Machine is one of them. But I mean, I learned a lot from them, political and stuff like that. And I think the singer is more, he doesn't like governments at all. But, the guitarist, Tom Morello, and some of the other guys are like, oh, well, Democrats are okay, But when history has shown that, like Zach De La Rocha, he didn't like any of it. He didn't like Clinton. He didn't like any of it, So I respect the person that doesn't like government or politicians, but ones who sit there and say, oh, Republicans are horrible, Democrats are the way, or vice versa even, then no, you're stupid. So, yeah. I mean, if Rage was to come out with a new album with Zach, man, I probably would still get it. Just because I loved Rage. And I still listen to them, but, I noticed the lyrics a little bit more, and it kind of like, okay, shut up. But still, dude, the bass lines and the drumming, and I don't know, it's all good. Anyway, so yeah, that's with me. So now, on to this guy, this brewery guy, right? Let me see. So I'm gonna put stuff up on the screen so you can see it, for those that are watching the video, of everything I'm going to look at and watch. But I cannot scroll through my phone and talk at the same time, apparently. There it is. So, yeah, so there's that. I want to send this to my Mac real quick. Before I start looking up this guy's stuff. I guess it'll still send it. Let me see. Oh, it won't, because I should have looked at it first. So there's this, I'll kind of do my typical can't remember shit information sharing. So a guy owns like a small brewery in Wisconsin. He ran for public office for something like in 2020, I think. He didn't win. Straight up liberal. Supposedly he's kind of a creep. And just the epitome of TDS, right? I'm trying to see if I can see what his name is. Because I want to share that, because he's a fucking douche. Let me see. Oh, it's not going to do it, is it? Oh, son of a bitch. Hold on. God. Why isn't... I don't know. Obviously, you can tell I don't get prepared. Okay, Kirk Bangstad. Minocqua brewery owner, right? So that's his name, Kirk Bangstad. So he put a thing, and it wasn't like straightforward, if you kill Trump, you get free beer. But he just, free beer day, whenever the pedophile, whatever this and that is put, like it's what do you call it? Saying it without saying it, but it's obvious to anyone what he's saying, but he's just not officially saying it, right? And then, of course, there was the recent, even though the guy didn't get near Trump, but anyway, so this guy posted this on Facebook, right? Well, we almost got hashtag free beer day. Either a brother or sister in the resistance needs to work on their marksmanship, or he faked another assassination to get positive news cycle. We'll never know. Regardless, we stand at the ready to pour free beer the day it happens. So they're like promoting and, the killing of the president, right? Now, I don't know. See, and this is another thing about the TDS. They've adopted so many talking points that the right has always had. The conspiracies, the, hey, I'm okay if I end up dead. I didn't kill myself kind of stuff. And just all the, the certain little whatever that it seems like the left is using like on full blast right now. But this talking point about Trump faking the assassination is the most ridiculous. And this right here, I mean, all of this proves how retarded some liberals are. Okay, now these loony left, it's not all liberals, but man, it's quite a few. And it seems to be more and more teachers, all this crap, right? But if you think that the assassination attempt in Pennsylvania, Butler, Pennsylvania, was faked by Trump, you need to be in an asylum. Straight up. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to whatever, but you are straight up psycho. Your priorities are all fucked up, and you need to be in an asylum. An insane asylum. They need to make like one huge insane asylum, a new one, and call it the Trump, whatever, some people that have TDS. Anyway, that'd be hilarious. But, dude, you had people who died, and people were like, oh my gosh, his ear, when his ear be gone? He didn't, technically, he was not directly hit by the round. If you spent any time at all at a range or shooting or whatever, the velocity and the air, and I don't know all the terms because I'm an idiot, but when you shoot around, it like if you're at a field and there's some tall grass and you shoot around, it could be like close to a foot of the grass will move from the velocity and the pressure that the round is producing because it's traveling so fast, right? So that bullet did not hit Trump. It was very close, and the bullet split his ear just from the velocity of the round, but he didn't get hit directly. It was the other people behind him that got hit and died, right? Or the one guy. But other people got shot, and they're like, oh, it's just like, these people are just retarded. And if Trump was going to fake, like, you can use Omar Cuntface. What? I can't remember. Remember that fake guy who shot some apple cider at her? I mean, it was obvious from the get-go that it was fake. You know what I mean? But it's easy to tell. If something, like, you just see some things and like, it doesn't make sense, doesn't add up. You know what I mean? Not always, but most of the time. I mean, immediately with Ilhan, bitch face, it was obvious. Like, this was stupid. This was totally set up. She knew the guy, and she knew, you know what I mean? It was all trying to make her look like Trump, when he was like, no, fight, after he got shot. This is how retarded and fraudulent the Democrats are right now. But, so that's just not the same thing. You got a guy who got access, ran through checkpoint with the rifle, was taken out. I'm surprised he didn't get shot. That's amazing, or that's sad, one or the other, because the marksmanship on those guys. I talked about on my last one how I'm surprised other people didn't get shot that were behind This guy. Watch the video, not the grainy eye hole fish eye looking one, but the actual video, and you see it in a lot more detail. It's kind of sad. I think the guy at least noticed it, and he drew his weapon, but he could have made a couple shots, but then once he started running this way, he should have stopped shooting, but he doesn't. You can see, I don't know, it was not the greatest, but I already talked about that. Now we're here to talk about, what was his name? Kirk Bangstad. Man, I'm starting to know a lot of Kirks that are, well, no, that's Kurt. So a couple Kirks that are just not right in the head. So that's what's kind of going on. Okay. So now, the Secret Service, right, they have hundreds upon hundreds of quote-unquote threats made by people on the president's lives. Now, whether it's, seems to be legit, or if it's just somebody being stupid, they still go and talk to those people, do a little interview. Hey, do you want the president to die? Do you want, this and that? They have to go through and feel the person out if they're actually a possible threat or not. And that's what happened to this guy. He's not special, okay? Special K, this is cereal. Everybody gets interviewed, but he's acting like there's some authoritarian, the government's trying to stop the resistance fighters. Like, he is so screwed up in the head. I think TDS is going to end up becoming part of the dictionary. It's going to go down, and it's going to be a term used for just people that just don't even care about Trump, but have these mental disorders that, like it's all they can think of. Like, it's going to go down as a new term in the English dictionary. Because it is bad. And a lot of it has to do with the media and everything, They perpetuate it, they keep it. If the media would shut up and just report on news and not trying to, paint Trump as some, Hitler's, long lost cousin, it's just like, it's ridiculous. It's just retarded. Oh, what? We need to stop the rhetoric. Anyway. Showed up. Okay, I gotta watch this without... How am I gonna do this? I did this before. I watched a video but then I don't want to get it on the microphone. I know I did it somehow. I can't remember how. But anyway, so this video here, this guy made after he was interviewed and everything. He posted it, or he did it live on his Brewing Facebook. But so just listen to some of the stuff that shows like just how self-centered, egotistical retardation that this guy is.
When they showed up, and I called Fred, and I knew I had about an hour before they came back and my lawyer came back. I knew I had about an hour, and so I did a few things. I called a bunch of folks at my company, and I said, listen, if you can't get a hold of me, I called my girlfriend, said, if you can't get a hold of me, it's because I've been detained.
Which is possible.
Because we all have seen people be detained before. Usually not my skin color. Usually not my gender.
Okay,
but we've
here
all
we go.
seen people be detained before.
First sign of TDS right there.
I called folks in my company, and I said, if you can't get a hold of me, start writing. Start writing. Start saying all the stuff.
He thinks he's actually going to be thrown in prison
because I might
for
not
nothing.
be able to say it anymore.
But that was Biden administration and the people at the Capitol. That's what happened to them. Oop.
And then I started.
This guy's trying to make himself cry.
And I posted on Facebook, and I said, I warned everybody. I said, I'm of sound mind and body.
Okay, see right here.
I'm confident that I'm right. I'm not going to harm myself.
Like he thinks they're going to kill him. Who the fuck are you?
It's because
that's how self-centered he is.
Not because I did it. And don't believe anything that you hear from the
And
government or the mainstream media
they don't care about you, dude. They're just
only
making sure
believe
you're not an actual
the
threat.
people who are representing me.
He
This
thinks
is
he's
where
like
we are in
some leader
America
of
right
some
now.
actual resistance against. That time has passed,
This
dude.
is where we are.
Look at him, trying to make himself cry. What a douche.
And then I copied and pasted the voicemail that I was left by the Secret Service. And I pasted that guy's phone number. And I said,
So he docks the Secret Service guy who's
call
doing his job.
this phone number.
I mean, it's not hard to change the phone number and stuff like that, but
This
it's a government
federal
phone,
agent,
I'm sure. But it's crap like this. They think the First Amendment means that you can do whatever you want. You can't just do whatever you want. You can say
remind this
pretty
federal
much
agent
what you want, but you
that he
still
has an
can
oath
get in trouble for what you
that he
do
took
or
from his
say.
country, and that he shouldn't break his oath. I'm hoping a bunch of you called that number.
See, he's acting like he's gonna.
This is what America has become.
No, this is what the
I'm
loony left has
privileged.
become.
Because I'm a white guy.
Okay, here we go.
And that's why I get to do this. And that's why I'm not in a detention
Yeah,
center.
so if he was brown, he would have been hauled off
God
without
damn it.
anybody knowing and
I'm gonna
murdered.
keep fighting.
That's the kind of shit they do in
I'm gonna keep
Iran,
fighting.
which they love
This
for some
shit
reason.
shouldn't happen to anybody. Shit shouldn't happen to anybody. The federal government
So you-
shouldn't be coming after business
So you
owners.
shouldn't see.
The federal
Shouldn't happen
government
to
shouldn't be coming
anybody.
after anybody.
Well, they don't unless you fucking give them a reason to. You fucking idiot.
First Amendment still rules.
See, the First
Rule of
Amendment
law
doesn't.
still rules.
You can't just.
America is still America.
They think
We're
there's
gonna
no.
win. But God damn
People
it,
think they can do what they want and not get in trouble.
people, you have to stand up for yourselves. You can't let them intimidate you. You have to speak up. You have to speak up. Everyone has to fight their own way. I'm loud. But you gotta keep fighting. But I'm good. I'm good tonight. We're good.
I think I'm gonna
You're
stop
gonna hear
it.
from me tomorrow. I'm gonna chill out.
When they showed up,
Okay, that was it. So that was the whole video. So that just shows you how fucking brain rotted they are. Like what he. Nothing has changed from now and then when Biden was office except that the administration, and they can only do so much. They act like the whole Kings, like they believe it. They think, oh my gosh, this is, it's, yeah, I don't know. It's just they are so. I mean, it's like when Biden was in office, yeah, I was a little worried. I mean, I'm I don't live there anymore. But my kids might go back and live there and stuff. And yeah, I was a little worried with the border open. That was the biggest thing for me. I was like, I didn't like the border open and just tons of people coming in without any kind of vetting. That was the biggest thing that bothered me. And then you had the trans and all that kind of shit. Like that was, yeah, I didn't agree with it, but it was like, whatever. But I mean, you look at LA, you look at some of the people that were in charge during the Biden administration, and they were just incompetent fools. Does that mean I think that America's over? No, we just have to deal with it for 4 years, right? It hurt America, and we're paying for it, but it's going to turn around. You know what I mean? Like, I was hopeful that Trump was going to make it. I didn't think Kamala would win because she was just such a buffoon, but I thought the same thing with Biden, and I talked about that before. If they have Kamala win the primary and run again, I'm going to be a little nervous. Some people are like, whatever. But it's like, dude, if they choose to go down that road again, they have a way to cheat. That's for sure. But that guy right there, man, that's how they think. They think like you can't there's no consequences for anything. And that's a huge problem with a lot of people today. You see stuff, you know, like I watched a thing about this girl who worked for DoorDash, right? And she was told to leave the food outside the door. But then she noticed through the door that the guy was passed out with his pants down. I don't think his dick was out or anything. But so she took a video of it and then she posted on her TikTok to, whatever. But now she's getting charged, because, and at the beginning she was like, I'm the victim. And this, like, dude, you don't, like, think about your actions. You can't, it's just, people are just stupid. Like, how did we get here? The education system is because it's filled with a bunch of, look at it. Our freaking test scores, our education is horrible right now. Why? Because it's all taught by a bunch of crazy loony lefts. I mean, you see all the teachers, the kids that are recording the teachers with TDS. And you see these teachers that were saying they're upset that Trump didn't die and they got fired. It's not just them. Yeah, there are some good teachers, but it's just filled with the same rhetoric and the same mental illness. It's like they're teaching how to be mentally ill, It's like you have consequences for your actions. Yes, the First Amendment is there and is awesome, and it's one of the primary reasons why this country is great. But that doesn't mean you can say or do whatever you want. God, it's just annoying. But it's individuals like this that, and he's not the only one. There's a lot of them like this, and they believe all the bullshit that is put. It's like, have you thought about all the BS that was put out on the news, all the lies that were proven and confirmed to be a lie? What about all those? So the media and all these people made up all this bullshit and has been proven to be false, made up, all by the left. But yet you still continue to believe everything they put out. Shame on me, but man, Jesus. It's like, it's ridiculous, man. Oh, man, see that the TDS is so strong they just cannot see the error of their ways and see how. I'm not saying that the Trump administration or the government is great. And that's the thing too, is like, how do you think that just within 2 years the government was all safe and now it's all, oh, they're coming to get me? They act like they just completely eradicate every Secret Service agent, every FBI agent, and they start all brand new with the new administration. Yes, they get people in charge and whatever and this and that, but it's like, I don't know. They just believe, and it's not just the mainstream media too, though. But you have some other individual like Jimmy Kimmel. Like, holy crap, dude! It's just individuals like that that are so lost. They cannot see what's going on. It's just, no matter what, Trump is bad, and no matter what happens, it's, I don't know. It's insane. And it goes on the other side too. You have people who are constantly in fear of losing, the Second Amendment or, other kind of stuff. And so whenever, there's a Democrat in office, then those are like, oh my gosh, we're going to lose our guns or this and that. And I'm like, we're not going to lose our guns, Yeah, I mean, there's lots of little, you can't have this gun or that, or you got to, fill out this, you got to get the, what do you call it, and pay for this, and it sucks, And what sucks worse is then, you paid all this money and got all this licensing to have a gun, but then you got this criminal who got one off the street, no problem, and goes around and kills people. The thing is you're not, like I said before, unless you magically get rid of every single piece of gun, ammo, the machinery that makes guns, and the knowledge to make guns, guns aren't going anywhere. You know what I mean? So making it illegal doesn't do shit, especially when you let a bunch of illegals into the country. It's just the oh man, it's crazy. It's crazy how crazy the left is. I don't know. But yeah, so that dude's insane. But what are you gonna do? Vote him out, I guess. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate your time. I'll see you guys next time, and God bless. All right, bye.
Say something for the podcast. Tell the people what you feel.